I have a message for those readers who are setting out to make a career for themselves as writers or comedians. I call it an ode to failure.
Welcome to Inside the Audition, the podcast where we go behind the scenes for a deep dive look into the world of auditions. I'm Joe Lars Larson, creator of Actors Audition Club, an international community helping actors book your dream roles in TV, film, and theater.
And I'm Brandon Knox, actor, producer, and co-host. Each episode, we chat with actors and industry professionals to share their audition experiences, insights, and advice.
We provide actors with actionable tips, strategies, and resources to help you elevate your auditions.
We demystify the often intimidating and misunderstood world of auditions to help you succeed.
So whether you're just starting out on your acting journey or you're a seasoned pro, join our Actors Audition Club members as we go
Inside the Audition.
Well, hello. We are inside the audition yet again for the 132nd time. I'm Joe Lars Larson, and this is BK Broiler. How you doing, BK?
I'm fantastic, Lars. It's been a very good week and a great weekend. How was yours?
It was fantastic. The first thing that we should note is spring has sprung. Here we are in the early bits of spring, and it's you're noticing it. It's sunny.
Is it the first day of spring today?
I think it's usually the 21st, the 20th or the 21st, somewhere around there.
Okay.
I'm no springologist, I think, is that the official science word for an expert on spring.
Yes.
But I think it's March 21st is the spring solstice.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. Nice. I also had a great show in Ottawa. It was a little road trip with
Nice.
Big Time Murder, who you often do shows with me.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to Big Time Murder, Murder Mystery Ottawa, and Murder Mystery Toronto. It was a private birthday party at a residence, around 25, 30 people. It was really cool venue, cool house. Everyone there was super fun. They did a great job. This one, as you know, is a show where they send a couple actors, but then 8 people in the audience play characters too. So it's really interactive and fun. And then they had a magician afterwards. So shout out to all the cool people who have cool birthday parties. I always love when we go to these private events. Often we do them for corporate shows, and they're at like hotel banquet halls and conference centers for big corporate events. But there's a good chunk that are birthday parties or like 50th birthday parties, special anniversaries and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, kudos to you. You guys are cool people who would invite all your friends over, pay money to a company and to a production to have something in your house. So, yeah, it was great. It was really fun. And I got to drive back and forth to Ottawa, which is always great.
Always a fun drive.
Yeah, and
now you've had a string of where the killer for that show, because it is an audience member, has been incapacitated for the last little while.
Right, yeah,
and you haven't been able to do it. Were you able to do the final scene this time?
We without revealing anything, we edited it a little bit. We made it simple. Yeah, it was also very tight quarters. As well too, but yeah, what Brandon is referring to is occasionally in the private parties when they're doing it at their own house, they what's the word, imbibe, is that the word? They imbibe on their alcoholic vices.
They cut loose, they have fun, they enjoy themselves, they have a lot of laughs, and the wine flows.
I mean, yeah, that's a great thing about having a house party is you have a house party, you don't have to make it home. You just
you already are home.
You are home.
Yeah.
Yeah. But shout out to Peter Dillon of Big Time Murder Mystery Ottawa and Murder Mystery Toronto. They put on great shows. We love doing them. He's been in business for 30 years. He's also actually, we should have Peter on. I don't know why we haven't yet.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He's got a massive resume of TV and film work. I think he's may still be a recurring character on Heartland, the beloved horse show that films in. It's funny that I call it a horse show. It's not just a horse show, but horses are involved. And that's a big Canadian show that shoots out by Calgary. And Peter's always working in TV and film. And then he's had this company, Big Time Murder, for a long time that provides lot of amazing shows and a lot of great work and consistent work for actors too. Speaking of
it
that,
really is one of the best side hustles for actors around.
Yeah.
Like if you can find something where it's a murder mystery show and you can go around from place to place and like put up a show wherever within a couple hours, like do it. I highly recommend it as actors, because then you're practicing your craft. You're doing what you love. Find something like that, because it is really great to do. And what Peter Dillon has done with Big Time Murder is fantastic.
Yeah, so shout out to Peter. Let's book him to have him on the show.
Yeah.
But I will say, if you're an actor, especially comedic actor, if you have experience with a lot of improv, a lot of sketch comedy, they're big, wild, wacky, and very interactive with the audience. So you have to have great improv chops and be comfortable interacting with audience members. If that's you, shoot us a message, because I know that occasionally they are short of cast members. They pay well. They're short calls, usually 4-hour calls. Often we get a nice fancy meal at the venue as well too. So it's a great show. Sometimes there's matinees, sometimes there's daytime shows, but I know that they occasionally are looking to expand the roster. So shoot us a message. I've had the pleasure. I've been with them, I think 5 or 6 seasons. Most of the work is in November, December during the holiday, like corporate Christmas party type things. But I think in April, we've got 5 or 6 shows coming up here in April that Brandon and I might be a part of. Or you might not be doing all those because you're doing the pantomime show. Yeah. But it's busy here. Yeah, we've got some shout out here. Matthew Amos says, "Hey Joe, hey Joe." Remember that old Beatles song? Hey Joe, don't let me down. That got Brandon. That wasn't that great a joke, really.
It was pretty good.
Hey Joe. Hey Matthew, nice to see you. What city are you watching from, Matthew? Where are you at these days? And Facebook user, I'm going to guess that this is Adam Daniel Mazet.
Yep.
He says he's got 2 vices in life: baseball and laughing Vikings live. Yes. Yeah. All right. What else? We wanted to, wrap that section up. Shout out Big Time Murder. If you're an actor looking for that type of work, shoot us a message and we can connect you with Peter for an audition. And I know what I was going to say. I've worked with him for 6 seasons now, and one of my favorite things is I've also had the chance to refer a lot of actors, and that's my favorite thing in the world is to point actors to other auditions and other gigs. And I know, Brandon, that's brought you lots of great shows and decent side hustle income too. So if that's you watching today, today's your lucky day. Maybe you'll be joining us for a show. But we've got a client shout out here at Actors Audition Club that we want to get to. One of our favorites here, Tim Daniels. Matthew, there he is.
I'll pull up. Yeah.
Matthew Amos from Guelph. Yes, from my Guelph days between, when did I live there? 2015 to 2017-ish. Hello, Matt. I'll be back in Guelph soon, hopefully. I want to book some stand-up shows in some cities that I haven't been to a while. So stay tuned for a Guelph date. All right. Let's start that over again. Time for some client shout-outs. One of our favorites here in the Toronto studio, Tim Daniels, recently left us a review. Let's bring it up. Can you make that bigger? There we go. Yep. Tim Daniels says, "I've worked with Brandon, who made it feel amazing to play a character who feels far from your own nature. I've worked with Lars, who draws out the humor and charm you already possess and adds it right where it needs to be in the scene. I've worked with Sebastian, who effortlessly meets you right at your range and helps you sharpen your choices in the moment. And recently, I got to work with Cheryl, who is nothing short of the energy, encouragement, perspective, professionalism, and connection you need while at play. When you work with this gang, you'll find gold. I'll put that on everything I know and love." Nice. I like that. Gold. Tim's great. He's got great energy when he comes. He's always smiling and happy. He's always done his work and his prep, and is always really open to suggestions and redirects. And just really fun to work with. You've worked with him a lot, yeah?
Yeah, I've worked with him a couple times now, and in each time he comes in, and it's always so much fun. He's always so raring to go and so prepared, and it just makes the session fly by, and it makes the magic happen, you know.
I will say though, the one challenging thing about Tim is he's huge. I think he's like six, maybe 6'7", uh,
6'6", I think.
6'6", 6'7". So he really puts our tripod to the test. And we occasionally, if we got a camera moving, we're panning, we're like, no, we just saw the roof on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Heads right up there. But shout out to Tim Daniels. We love you. Thanks for thanks for being part of our community here at Actors Audition Club. And speaking of that, if you're an actor that is looking for some help shooting your auditions, and you want to do that without tech troubles, without having to bug your family and friends, without having to have any stress and anxiety, you can go check us out at laughingvikings.com/auditions. We work with actors all over the world via Zoom remotely, where you can hook up with one of our session directors via Zoom, or if you're in the GTA Toronto area, and more cities coming soon. But right now we've got the studio in Toronto, or we access all of our international members virtually through this thing called the internet here. Go to laughingvikings.com/auditions. Our session directors are all trained actors with a lot of audition experience and casting experience, and love working with people and love working with actors and helping them elevate their performances and ultimately help you book more roles in TV and film. So that sounds like you. Go to laughingvikings.com/auditions. You can book a session as a non-member, or you can hop on board the membership. You can find that information about the membership at laughingvikings.com/AAC is how, if you already know, maybe you're like, nah, just let me in. Let me get on board with the membership. We've got some more spots opening starting in April. We've got April 1st coming up. So we'll accept a new cohort into the Actors Audition Club. And that could be you. So no more stress, no more anxiety, no more having to bug your family and friends, no more having to bug your husband or your wife or your kids, or ask an actor to do you a favor and then they don't show up because they've got their own audition or they get called into work last minute. You want somewhere reliable where we'll help you and you don't have to even think about anything except just your own preparation and your own performance. Come on down and see us.
Yeah.
All right. Next. We wanted to talk, speaking of this, we'll just roll into this. We've got some weekly drop-in classes starting. We did this pre-pandemic, and we're rolling them out again. So we have, starting tomorrow on Thursday, March 23rd, we're starting the first installment of Thespian Thursdays, and that's going to be a 3-hour workshop, kind of actor jam workout. So if you need a place to sharpen your craft in between your classes with your other acting coaches or in between auditions, we're going to run them every Thursday from 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. Now, those ones are in person here in our Toronto studio. Brandon's going to run that one tomorrow, and we're going to limit them just to 8 spots. So you can come in. There's going to be about a half hour of a voice and speech class, a little voice and speech workout to get you warmed up. Maybe some fun little improv games to get you warmed up. Then we're going to work on some monologue and scene study. There'll also be a Q&A session for anyone who has general questions about auditions or specific questions about auditions, or if you've got special questions about how we're helping actors here at Actors Audition Club. Those are a great time to do those. And to register for those, you can do that at laughingvikings.com/workouts, but only 8 spots. And the other thing I'll say to people who are members with Actors Audition Club, if you've got a quick one-liner or maybe an SOC commercial, you could join us for one of those and we can help you bang out a little quickie. It is a group session, so you don't have the specific one-on-one attention that you would have when you book a normal audition session with us for your self-tapes. But if it's just something quick and you don't mind working it and working on it in front of other actors, then the weekly workouts are a great place to just bang out a little quickie where you don't need a full hour session and you don't need the one-on-one time. You can do that and just get those taken care of at a weekly workout. laughingvikings.com/workouts. You're going to run the one tomorrow, Brandon. You want to talk about that? You excited for that?
I'm very excited. This will be the first time I'm teaching a class, and I'm very nervous, but I'm very excited to help people get more comfortable in front of the camera. And like I feel like a lot of times for actors, we don't spend as much time as we need to in front of the camera. And the more you do, the better it's going to feel, especially when you're doing these auditions, because you have, especially with self-tapes now, you have the opportunity to really digest the work and really put your best foot forward for the casting directors or the directors and producers. And I think the more that you do, the more time that you spend in front of a camera, the better. And I think these classes will do that. And like, if you have a monologue, if you have a scene that you want to work on, if you have something that you're interested in, come on down to the Thespian Thursdays. We're going to help you with some voice and speech stuff. We're going to have some fun, and we're going to be there for any questions and queries that you might have about the industry or auditions. And let's make a community. Let's really build this community. Let's have a lot of fun, because the more that we do together, the better it's going to feel. Like, you want to have a safe space that you can go to explore, to have fun. And I think I've said fun about 6 times already, and I really do firmly believe that, like, the more fun that you have, the better off you're going to feel. And the less stress that you put on yourself when you do submit that self-tape or that audition, because it takes all the stress away.
Yeah, and Brandon's being quite modest. He said this is the first time he's teaching a class, and that may be the first time in a group setting with multiple actors. But Brandon's run hundreds, maybe thousands, at least hundreds and hundreds, like multiple hundreds of audition sessions. So he's been coaching and teaching one-on-one for a long time. So, and I know you always do a great job with coaching and teaching, and you're always weaving in lessons that you've been taught and that you've learned over the years. And we also pass down a lot of the amazing knowledge that we learned from our other coaches, especially Tom Todoroff out of his classes as well. So you'll learn a lot in those. But a big part of it is community, is especially since the pandemic. Acting was always for me anyways, acting and stand-up has often felt like a very lone wolf career where you're carving your own path and finding your own way in this business. Yeah. But having a community and having a group of people to rely on and lift you up and share victories with and share resources and ask questions and just be around as a human being. We lost a lot of that over the pandemic when we used to do these pre-pandemic, and then we just hadn't gotten back to them. And I think the pandemic has separated us even further. So I'm really excited to get these back. And yeah, the main thing is fun. It's going to be very informal. Everyone who's here, we're only having 8 spots. It's a 3-hour class. So that leaves one-on-one on camera time, about 20 minutes to half an hour per person, plus the warm up at the beginning, voice and speech warm up. And then at the end, we'll open it up for some Q&A. But yeah, you've got special questions, and not just us. And it's not like we have all the answers. It's when you get around a group of like-minded, growth-minded actors, you're going to learn things from other people. You're going to learn things from watching other actors work. You'll get a tip from Brandon that he gives to another actor while that actor is working that maybe wouldn't have come up had you not been there observing and watching. And for those of you who are not in the Toronto area, every Tuesday, we're going to do Tune-Up Tuesdays, and that one is virtual via Zoom. So you can go to laughingvikings.com/workouts. If you're in the Toronto area and you want to see us in person, choose Thespian Thursdays, or if you're international, or even if you're in Toronto and you like Zoom, I think Zoom's a great option these days. So choose Tune-Up Tuesdays. You want to bring that page up real quick?
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll just show you how to do that. You can book online, but again, I just want to reiterate that it's 8 spots. So I use the term drop-in, which a lot of people take that you can just come and go as you please, but you do need to register so that we know how many numbers are showing up. But they're just one-offs for now. We might do packages where you can get a 6-pack or an 8-pack. But hit that save my spot button there. Boop. There you go. So each session every week from 6 to 9 includes a director and a coach. You get a voice and speech warm up, on camera monologue and scene rehearsal study. And then at the end, if it's something that you're shooting and you want a copy of it, we'll just send the raw file transfer to you, or drop it in a Google Drive or something like that for you to access it. Especially a lot of people, occasionally you have a scene or a monologue that you're working on in order to show an agent or in order to showcase or get into a school. If you need help with that, and you don't think you need the one-on-one time, again, I wouldn't substitute this. If you have a big 9-page audition, I would book a one-on-one session and do a proper self-tape session with us. But if it's a quickie and you want to work on something on camera here in front of a group and get some group feedback and work with one of our audition session directors, then these Tune-Up Tuesdays and Thespian Thursdays are great options. And like we said, each class at the end will have an open Q&A where we can share tips and advice and resources and all the specific things that come up that maybe you don't have an answer for and you want to ask those, then do that too. All right. Yeah. Looking forward to those ones too. So stay tuned. They're going to be weekly every week. And actually scroll up. We'll give that people. Sometimes people hesitate. They're like, what's this going to be like? So we're just going to do a 7-day money back guarantee. So you come on a Thursday and you're like, fuck that. That was terrible. I never want to see any of these people again. And that was a huge waste of time and money. If you feel that way, if you're not completely satisfied with your Actors Audition Club experience, just let us know and we'll send you a refund. We've got hundreds of 5-star reviews for our work here with actors. So can't see that happening. But if you're not happy, then we don't want to take your money. So there you go. No harm, no foul. And all right, let's move along. We wanted to. I love shouting out. I'm huge on mentors and huge on coaching, and really something that I did personally, starting in the pandemic, is I doubled and perhaps I will say tripled down on my learning and coaching and seeking out mentors. A ton of paid programs. I went back to conservatory with the Todoroff Conservatory. I've enrolled in a ton of business programs. I've taken lots of voice coaching, personal growth and development programs. And one of my hugest mentors in business is a guy named James Wedmore. And he is creator and founder and lead coach and mentor of his business program, Business by Design. These are just some flashcards that came as a bonus program. And I enrolled in his program, Business by Design, in 2021, just knowing that all of us as actors, we're really our own business, but also I wanted some help and some coaching in developing our membership program here at Actors Audition Club. And James's teachings and coachings, and one of the major things that they do is they, through Business by Design, he likes to call them a Lego instruction manual, like just real clear step-by-step things on how to build a business, whether it's mainly online digital businesses. Also a lot of mindset work, and that's what these flashcards are. So we like to share some of these because whether you realize it or not, if you're an actor and you're an artist, you really are a business. You might not formally be registered as an incorporation or a business yet, but really you are a business. So you got to treat yourself like a business and look at yourself as your own CEO of your own company, you Inc., as some people say. So these flashcards here, we like to play with these. So we're gonna shuffle them up. Brandon's already selected one, but I'm gonna select one at random, and we're gonna share some Wedmore wisdom here. So this one, we got this again. We've had this one before. Actually, I'm gonna not do that one again, just because I know we've talked about it. Shuffle them up. Here we go. Oh, that one's a long one. Actually, no, it's really good. It's really good. Okay, time for some Wedmore wisdom here. There's the little picture. It says, when you realize what's happening in your life is a result of what's happening in your mind. Where's the camera here? I want to get that clear. There it is. When you realize what's happening in your life is a result of what's happening in your mind. All right, little Wedmore wisdom from Business by Design. He says, 8 years ago, I learned one principle that has completely transformed my life and my business. As within, so without. The idea is simple. The world around you, the people, the events, the experiences, is a direct reflection of your inner world, how you think and how you feel moment to moment. In short, your life is a mirror. However, most people never understand the principle, and as a result, they live backwards. They think the effects of their lives are the cause of how they feel, when how they feel is the cause of the effects. However, when you realize that what is happening in your life is a result of what is already happening in your mind, you discover that you have the power to completely transform your life simply by changing what is happening in your mind. And that's totally true as actors too. And I'll just relate it, something real simple is pre-audition, especially in the times of live audition, the chatter that's going in your head sets up your nerves. If you walk in and you're thinking, oh my God, how's this going to go? Are they going to like me? I hope I don't drop a line. I hope I don't fuck this up. Like, then what do you think is going to happen? You're probably going to go in there. You're probably going to be jittery, jumpy, not going to have a great first impression. When you do forget that line that you were psyching yourself out about, that you were thinking you were going to forget, then there's going to be a chain reaction there, and then the whole thing's going to fall apart. Versus if you go in thinking, hey, I'm well prepared. This is going to be great. This is my opportunity to shine. I'm casting solution to their problem of needing someone to fill this role. I'm going to go out there and play and perform and have a fun time and change the molecules in the room. And it's going to be a great experience. If you walk in with that thought in your mind, chances are it's going to be a great time. So I can't underestimate that. Like, that's just the nature of the universe, is that how we feel and what you're thinking in your mind. Like, if you, like, another example is if you just walk out in the world, imagine you walked out in the world and you were like, I'm going to look for all the problems and all the people that might hurt me and deceive me and trick me and threaten me. And then you just walk around the world thinking, oh my, he's a threat. She's a threat. That's a threat. This is a threat. Versus when you go out and you think to yourself, you know what? I'm going to go out and look for all the beautiful, heartwarming, positive things. And I'm going to look for all the fun things and all the things that light me up. And I'm going to look specifically for joy and happiness and peace in the world. And we can all choose that on a daily basis. It's like we're fed the news and we're fed all this negative shit. But every day there's amazing, incredible, happy, joyful, beautiful things happening too. But it's, what are you looking for? And what's what are your inner thoughts? Controls a lot of that shit. So, yeah, just be mindful of what you're looking for. And really is that it's a mirror. What is happening inside is what you see outside. And a lot of people think it's the other way around. And when you take control of your thoughts,
that's point, Lars.
What's that?
And how do you get to that point? You get to that point by preparing so well, by doing it 250 ways, especially
as an actor. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's the preparation as well, but it's also working on your mindset, surrounding yourself with positive people, surrounding yourself with positive things. What you're feeding your mind and your thoughts is going to determine what's coming out. It's like that. You've heard the saying, garbage in, garbage out. If you're feeding yourself negative shit all day on social media and you're watching Fox News and CNN News and it's just catastrophe. Remember that all those news outlets, what their job is to sell advertising, and bad news gets eyeballs more than good news. So the reason they're showing you all that shit is not because that's the reality of the world. It's because negative headlines turn heads and get clicks far more. Unfortunately, our lizard brains default to negative threats versus defaulting to all the beauty and incredible things that are happening in the world every day. So just take control of that. Listen to positive podcasts, and we're kind of preaching to the choir, because chances are, if you're watching and listening to this right now, likely you are a positive person who sees the light in the world. And as an artist, I think most artists are that type of person, where they see creative things and they see fun things, and they want to make the world a better place. So,
but partially because of that, like there are moments, especially as artists, where we feel down about what we're doing, and like it's never working out, and like sometimes reevaluating that and coming back to either like a saying or something something along those lines. A saying that I've really connected to recently is, every day in every way I'm getting better, because I'm actively working at it. And sometimes I forget that, but the more I remind myself every day in every way I am getting better, like it's that old fable of the tortoise and the hare, right? Like it's not how quickly you get to the finish line. Like there is no finish line.
Right.
Like you're on a slow journey, and slowly is the fastest way to get to where you want to be. And the more you understand that, and the more you are able to forgive yourself, and I think that's really where it really lies. Forgive yourself. Like you're not on a timeline. Like you're human. You make mistakes, right? Like, and the more we embrace that and the more we understand that, the better we're going to feel when something doesn't exactly go our way. Especially in the casting process, we don't have control over a lot of things, but what we do have control over is something that you need to focus on, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, we have control of ourselves and our own preparation. And I do think it's like what you're talking about is the process and the journey versus enjoying the journey versus the destination. It's like anything in life, you should be loving the game versus only love it. Like if you play a sport and you only love it when you win, chances are you're going to spend half your career not enjoying yourself, which is not how you want to be. Like, and in every sport, like the famous example is baseball players make the Hall of Fame if they're getting a hit 3 times out of 10, and they're batting 300, and that's a Hall of Fame career. But that means most of the time they're not getting a hit, and if they went into a deep depression every season because of that, that would be sad and not good. But the flip side is, I think it's finding there's a weird dichotomy of, and this is guidepost 5, opposites. It's yes, enjoy the long journey, but also I think something that we have to recognize as humans is it's not always we have to have a certain level of urgency, because you don't know how long that journey is going to be. That journey could end tomorrow for any one of us. So, and the other thing is massive opportunities happen, as Tom Todorov would say, when the right actor meets the right role. Boom, you're off to the races. So any given, like your next audition could be the one that massively changes your life as well. So these huge things do come along where you just pop, but that doesn't happen without the groundwork of preparation and knowing, like, so it's like be in it for the long haul and be happy about the long haul, but also have a certain level of urgency of like, hey, I want to really work on this stuff, and I really want to make things happen, and having the mindset of, am I doing all the things that I could be doing to move myself forward and to grow and learn and develop? But with the, as you mentioned, Brandon, with the forgiveness of like, okay, there's no such thing as being perfect, and our energy level and rises and falls, and our stress rises and falls, and we've got stuff happen in our families, and you might have things happening with your health and all kinds of things. So, and as an actor, there's a million reasons, as you mentioned, that you could have an amazing performance and you don't book the role, and it's got nothing to do with you. So, just trusting that you're doing your best, and that it's going to keep happening for you. And also making acting not the only thing in your life, I think is big. it's easy to get like hyper focused where it's the only thing that matters, but you got to do other things and smell the roses, go for a walk on the beach, go for some hikes, take some classes that aren't related to acting. And then the brilliant thing is anything you do has the potential to inform your acting life, even if it's like a crochet class. And then all of a sudden you're in a scene in a movie where you get to crochet your own thing, and there you go. Or you never use it in the movie and you're just like, you're on.
I find this very relaxing and it helps me de-stress. Like, why not?
Yeah. So do you have another card from Wedmore there?
I do.
And actually, before you show it too, a lot of these, James is talking, his audience and his students are business owners, primarily online digital businesses. But all of this applies. So just substitute anytime you hear business owner or entrepreneur, just substitute that for, in your case, for actor, artist, comedian, because ultimately you're freelancer. So you are an entrepreneur and you are your business owner, even if it's not a formal business. So that's why we want to share James and his wisdom. I can't say enough. He's helped me build this community and build the business, especially the things online. But he's got all the tactical and the strategy on how to set up a business. But what's incredible about James is he pairs that with all this mindset work, which is arguably more important than tactics and strategy and what's the new social media hack. Like, if your mind's fucked up, the latest TikTok hack's not going to fix your life or fix your business or fix your career. So it's start here first. So hit that card here. Hit us with some more Wedmore wisdom.
Grateful AF.
Grateful AF.
Yeah.
As
I love the art on these cards.
Yeah, it's
the
great.
Art on these cards is really fun.
Yeah, I wonder if I'll have to ask him. I wonder if he drew them himself.
Do you really think he drew them himself?
No, I think he likes to doodle and yeah, maybe he did. I don't know.
I like that.
I don't know. I'll ask. I'll have to ask him. Yeah. Grateful as fuck. Read that for us.
Can you imagine if we searched for blessings in life the way we search to label anything that doesn't go according to plan as bad and let it ruin our whole day? I can tell you one thing. We should be a heck of a lot happier, inspired, and so fulfilled. The reality of the situation is life is full of things to be grateful for. It's a choice of whether you choose to see them or not. What will you choose today?
What will you choose today? Yeah, I mean, I think that starts, the biggest thing is literally like, if you're watching and hearing our voice right now, what does that mean? It means you're fucking alive, which is a big deal. Yeah. It means you woke up today. Not only are you alive, but you're alive in 2023, and you're probably connecting over the internet, which means you have electricity, you have internet, you probably have a roof over your head. If you have a roof, that probably means you also have food and running water, and all that stuff is not things that we should take for granted. Like that in and of itself. Like I've been working on that. One of the things that really frustrates me is waking up. Like I kind of wish like if there was like some kind of pill that was healthy to do it and it didn't fuck you up. There's certain times where I'm like, you're in a groove and you're in a roll, and it's like I don't want to go to bed because. Every time I wake up, it's like, you wake up in the morning, you're groggy. Like I feel like waking up is like, that's as close to death as we can be, is just that groggy waking up. And most people, like I don't generally wake up hearing birds and beautiful music and all this stuff. It's like you kind of wake up and you're like, oh my, this hurts and that hurts. Oh, what do I got to do today? So I've been really working on that gratitude right from the get-go. And I saw I think it was probably an Instagram reel the other day, and it was just like, you woke up. Like that in and of itself is a huge deal. So start with that. So starting with gratitude and just saying, I think there's a guy, personal growth and development, one of the godfathers, Wayne Dyer, says he wakes up, puts his feet on the floor to ground himself, and then just says, thank you, thank you, thank you. just to the universe or your creator or whatever it is you believe in, but just thank you that you're even here is a big deal. Yeah, and just remember that. Beautiful perspectiving. Yes. Yeah. Makes a big difference, man. Like that. If there is a secret, if there is such a thing as a silver bullet, it's probably gratitude. And drink more water and eat healthy food and move your body. But I think starting with gratitude, because you can't feel angry or upset. It's like if you have any kind of gratitude practice, whether it's something consistent at a certain time, like people do it when they wake up or at the end of their day, and just think of what are 3 things. And they don't need to be big things. It's like they could be like, oh, thank you for the sunshine today. Thank you for my dog. Thank you for that delicious meal I had today. Thank you for that moment on the subway where you saw that little baby and the baby did something funny and then everybody laughed and made eye contact with strangers. And it was this beautiful moment with a bunch of strangers that you didn't even have to say a word to, but in your head, it was like, oh, that was something special. Facebook user, that might be Adam Daniel Mazet. If you're watching on Facebook, there might be somewhere in there to give StreamYard permission to access your profile. Then we can actually see your name as well. But so look out for opportunities in life to do good deeds and help people. Head on a swivel. Yeah, that's another thing. It's like gratitude and helping others. They often talk about one of the fastest ways out of depression or negative thinking is to just take some time and help some other people, like go volunteer at a soup kitchen or go to a retirement home and help people who are on their last legs and it's kind of the last phase of their life, and be around people like that. And that'll really give you some perspective about what's important, because people who are at the last parts of their life, it'll be real clear on what matters to them. And it's not what do you say? Like, it's not material things at the end of our lives. Like nobody's going to be like on their deathbeds thinking, "Ooh, look at the size of my Bitcoin account that I got right now," or, "Oh, look at all my Oscars on my shelf. Those are going to be great when I'm dead." You're going to be thinking, are there people around you that you love? Did you matter? Did you love? Did you spend quality time with people? It's like all that stuff is what's important.
Yeah. Did you do things that make you happy?
Yeah. Happy. I think the best combo is having a purpose of you want to find joy and happiness, things that make you happy. But if you can combine that with things that also are positive for other people, then that's the best combo. It's like you don't want to do it in a selfish way where you're like, make me happy. It's a certain amount of service too. I think people who have the most significant lives are people who, they're doing things that feed them and make them joyful, and creative endeavors that they've really married their passion with maybe a business or a entrepreneurial endeavor, like artists and actors get to do. Like we get to do this, and we love it. And not a lot of people, like there's a lot of people doing things Monday to Friday to live for the weekend that they hate, and they got to slog it out. But if you can find something that lights you up, but also helps other people, and I think certainly being an actor and artist, no better time than the pandemic to realize how important content was, and movies and film and music and art during that time where everyone was freaking out. What did we all go to? We went to Netflix, and that was what we relied on. So all right. You have a book that you've been reading, and you wanted to share a quote. I
have been reading the Mel Brooks autobiography. Lars got this for me for my birthday, and I'm absolutely loving this book. Mel Brooks is such a fun writer, and like there's points in this book where he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I just needed to make a joke there." Like, he just can't stop himself from making the joke, and I absolutely love that about his character, and I absolutely love that about his movies as well. And I think he has a letter, not a letter, but he has a a passage in here that's for actors and comedians and writers, and I think it's so important that I would love to read it on the podcast right now.
Please do.
So
Highlight yourself. Switch it. You
okay?
How do you do that?
All right, from Mel Brooks' book, All About Me. I have a message for those readers who are setting out to make a career for themselves as writers or comedians. I call it an ode to failure. Before achieving success in your career, I failed on a large scale and small ones. During my time in the Catskills, some jokes worked and some didn't. As a result, you didn't just not do those jokes again. You learned what the audience expects, what they want, and then you have to learn an even bigger lesson. Don't give them what they expect. Give them what they don't know and what they don't expect, and maybe you'll get an even bigger explosion of laughter. Failure is vital. It is an incredibly important quotient in the equation of a career. After you wipe away your tears, it's not a bad experience, and under the right circumstances, it will make you better, both as a person and as an artist. I think it's important to fail, especially between the ages of 20 and 30. Success is like sugar. It's too good. It's too sweet. It's too wonderful, and it burns up very quickly. Failure is like corned beef hash. It takes a while to eat. It takes a while to digest, but it stays with you. Failure may not feel good when it happens, but it will always sharpen your mind. You'll always ask yourself, where did I go wrong? Why didn't this joke or this sketch work? And there will always be reasons. You can't just say, well, it's not funny. You have to ask yourself, why is it not funny? My son Max, who wrote the Zombie Survival Guide and World War Z, gave the graduation speech at the Pulitzer Prize College in Claremont, California, where he went for his undergraduate degree. To the graduating class, he said, go forth and fail. He was absolutely on target because nothing helps you succeed like failure.
I love that. That's
Me
great.
too.
Yeah, that's that's so good because it relieves all the pressure. A lot of the times people are thinking, oh, we got to be perfect, or they want the perfect take, or they want to drop a line or mix up a line or stumble or stutter or any of those things. But yeah, that relieves all the pressure. Back to James Wedmore, one of his things that he often says is there's no losing. It's not like you win or lose in any area of life. He often says you either win or you learn. So in every quote unquote loss, it's not really a loss, it's a gain, because what you either get the result you were intending for and the result you were wanting, or you get the lesson that you needed to learn to then inform you to make changes and adjustments to then get the outcome that you desired. So it's like when you think that way, it relieves all the pressure. And think about how great it is to be like, oh, I'm going to see how much I can fail today. Let's see how much you can fuck up. There's a fun video going around. It was Willem Dafoe, and he talks an idea he toys with is, how can I fuck this up? Like, I'm just going to go into this, whether you're a musician or an artist. Like, an artist might just whip shit at the canvas and mess it all up. An actor might do the same. A singer might do it. So just like release all the shackles of having, oh, I got to fit this in a perfect box and everything's got to be beat perfect and word perfect, to let's just fuck it all up. And there's a lot of fun and joy that comes in that. But then you always know that it's not, you're not going to lose, you get a lesson. So that's been a huge game changer for me through James Wedmore's business program is don't see it as a loss. Like, say you're doing some promotion and not as many people show up or not as many people enroll or whatever it might be. It's like, that's not a loss. It's just a lesson that you learn, and then you correct, and then you course correct, and then you do it again next time. And hopefully you get closer to your desired outcome or result. But no matter what, it is a win because you get the lesson. So I think that's a game-changing perspective for sports, for business, for life. Yeah, I've heard I forget who it was, but it was on a podcast I was listening. There was a father who, what he would say to his kids every day when they would come home from school, they had this ritual around the dinner table,
Yeah.
and they would say, "How did you fail today? Tell me what you," and it was this really fun thing. So it's like,
I think that was
oh,
Bo Eason's dad.
yeah, it might have been. Yeah, I forget. But I think it's such a good perspective instead of setting up your kids with this expectation that they have to be A+ students at everything and they're going to be afraid to try things because they don't want to fail. It's like, what did you fail today at? And then so the kids will just go to this attitude of having the courage and being bold enough to do new things without the expectation of having to be perfect. And they would come around the dinner table and be like, "Oh, I put my hand up and went to the front of the class and gave my speech and I totally botched it and everybody laughed and it was a really funny moment." Or I was walking up the stairs and I tripped over my shoelaces and I tripped and fell and it was this big embarrassing moment, but it was really fun. Like that versus being mortified over the failure, like, "Oh my God, what are they going to think of me?" Like, and it also goes along the lines of what other people think about you really isn't any of your business. It's like, let people think what they're going to think, you know. But I love it. I love that Mel Brooks quote for, especially for comedians. It's like you're just getting feedback. So like, did you bomb or did you learn some lessons and get some feedback then's going to inform you next time? And you really got to go into it with, of course, as a comedian, your desired outcome is the reason that you're there is to make people laugh. So it is kind of the worst feeling in the world, bombing as a comedian, because it's like the one thing that you're attempting to do is not it's not what's happening. So it is a terrible feeling, which creates a lot of the anxiety of people saying like, "Oh my God, I don't know how you do stand up. I could never do that." Or the fear of public speaking and the fear of performance and performance anxiety and stage fright that people have. But then when you release that as, you know what, this is failure is good. I'm learning. I'm getting some feedback. Also, when you realize real quickly, it's like when they don't laugh, you don't die. So it's like what really happened. You went with the intention of making someone happy and you didn't make them as happy as you thought you would make them, and nobody died. So it's really not as big a deal as it is. What else you want to add to that?
Yeah, well, there's a Michael Shurtleff quote that's coming to mind. Consistency is the death of great acting, and like each time it's always different. It's never the same twice, and
Right.
So you have to be able to adapt. And like consistency doesn't help all the time. Like if you're just consistently getting laughs, it sometimes doesn't tell you anything. But when you don't get those laughs at one point or another, that informs you as to maybe I can do this a little bit better. Maybe I can attempt to do something else with this so that it works for all different sorts of people.
Right.
And like especially in theater, there's a lot of like, "Oh, well, that audience was terrible." Like,
Right.
what,
Yeah, it's such a cop out. I hate that. Yeah, it's
was
common
it
thing
that,
in
or was it
comedians
like,
too.
were you just maybe a little bit off today? Like,
Yeah. I mean, sometimes
sometimes,
certain
sometimes you're not, but
I just don't think it's not helpful to just be like, "Oh, the audience sucked." Like, it doesn't really help you. Like, if you're just going to cop out with that. Like, I've definitely been in some situations where the audience was a little weird, or maybe the setup of the whole event, or even certain things about like there's something to say about how the room is set up, where are the seats, is there a stage, is the sound good, is there lights on the like all of that affects the show too. So you can sometimes walk into a show and between the event and how it's timed and who the people are and how the stage and everything is set up, I've walked in to be like, "Ooh, this is going to be a struggle from the get-go." But you don't want to blame it on that, because then you don't really learn anything. You want to like, what could I have done better to make that a more optimal situation? Facebook user, probably Adam Daniel Mazet, says nerves are just talent struggling to get out. And I think one one thing that I've heard about that is it's the exact same physiological reaction of nervous anxiety and excitement. It's actually really the same feelings, the butterflies and everything. So it's a lot of those nerves aren't the nerves themselves. It's our interpretation of them, of what we're labeling them. So if you're walking up and you're like, oh my God, I'm breathing a little faster. My heartbeat is breathing a little faster. I got butterflies. I got some thoughts running through my head. Oh, I'm nervous, versus the interpretation of I'm having those feelings, but that's because I'm excited. That's because I'm chomping at the bit, like that sports, almost like sports.
Put me in, coach.
Yeah, sports enthusiasm. Yeah, I'm chomping at the bit, and a ton of that is your the. I think the main difference is just your self-talk about it. Like, how do you interpret that, and what do you say? Oh my God, I'm getting nervous. Oh no, are they going to like me? Is this going to go well? Am I going to fuck up? Am I going to remember my lines? What if I didn't prepare enough? What if they don't like me? What if they hate me? And then you're spiraling out of control, versus, hey, this is my body's natural reaction to something that is exciting, something that I love, and this is where I want to be. So yeah, of course my heart is beating a little faster. All of those things are also proof that you're alive too. So if you felt nothing, that means you're dead inside. So if you're just walking out on stage, it's like you don't want to feel. The flip side to that is you don't want to feel nothing. It's like you want to feel some of these nerves, and you obviously got to control them. But yeah. Yeah, it's great. Good talk. Good episode today. I like this. We got lots of stuff going on. And speaking of stuff going on, and speaking of audiences and performances, I'm super pumped. We've got a stand-up show. Laughing Vikings presents Sean Cullen live in Bracebridge, Ontario at Bracebridge Hall, March 31st at 8 p.m. You can grab tickets at laughingvikings.com and bbhall.ca. Actually, if you go to laughingvikings.com, it's just a link that takes you to bbhall.ca's, but you can find it anyway. Laughingvikings.com, bbhall.ca. I'll be hosting and opening up the show. It's a great venue. There's only about 60, 65 tickets. Last I heard, we had sold about 35, 40 of them. So people who are in the Muskoka area, my hometown Aurelia is about 45 minutes south of there. So any of my hometown friends, you want to catch Canadian comedy legend, icon, Sean Cullen. We had him on the podcast last week. Just super hilarious guy. Can't wait to see him in action. It's going to be a fantastic show. Get tickets now because they are going fast, and we'll see you at Bracebridge Hall. Shout out to Bracebridge Hall, my buddy Keith, who's one of the owners there, and Mikey. It's a beautiful venue, and you're going to get a great show March 31st featuring Sean Cullen as the headliner. That's going to be a doozy. It's going to be great. Yeah, but you better get those tickets fast because it's going to straight up. It's 100% going to sell out. There's no way it's not going to be a sellout. So you got to get the ticket now. You got a little over a week to grab your ticket. That's it. And then they're gone. Yeah. And it looks like we're going to be doing monthly shows there again too. Pre-pandemic, we're doing monthly. Bracebridge and Muskoka blows up during the summer with all the tourism and people coming out to their cottages. So we're looking to do shows. Hopefully, if the schedule works out, we haven't released the dates yet, but ideally it's going to be the last Friday of every month. We'll do a monthly show where I'll book a different headliner. Hopefully I'll get Chris Locke up there as well. I've asked Chris to do the show a couple times, but his schedule didn't work out. So stay tuned for more. Also, we're going to get Bob Rubin up there as well too, who I just went to the basketball game with last night, the 905 Raptors game. Shout out to Adam Daniel Mazzei for the courtside seats. That was cool. Being courtside, I'm like, I don't think I can ever go to a basketball game and not sit courtside anymore. It was me, Bob Rubin. I think Jack Nicholson was on one side. I think Spike Lee was on the other. I think Leonardo DiCaprio popped down for a little bit.
Yeah,
say hello.
Came in from the nosebleed seats to sit down near you guys.
Yeah, and the 905 Raptors, who is they're the development league, like the minor league feeder team for the Toronto Raptors. They won last night, so it was a great time. and we were up close and personal. Like there was a couple times where I like stretched my feet out. And I'm like, "Ooh, I almost tripped the guy." You're like right there, yeah. Or you trip the ref running back, and the ref's running up and down the sideline, and they'd be coming and be like, "Ooh, I got to get my feet back in," or I'd be like, "Didn't want to drop popcorn and have somebody slip on my popcorn." It's the last drive of the game, and my popcorn ruins it. Yeah, it was great, super fun. So thank you, everyone. Make sure that if you're watching this right now, make sure you subscribe. We're on every podcast platform. Kudos to you for watching us live on Facebook or YouTube, but we do it every week at 2 p.m. Subscribe to on your favorite podcast platform. If you're not with us live, you can listen while you're driving, while you're taking your dog for a walk, while you're working out. We do this every week. Some great
if you have any questions about the audition process or struggles that you may be having, or at-home studio setups, please send us a DM at Actors Audition Club or Laughing Vikings, or you can DM us personally on Instagram as well. But like, if you have any questions or queries, we're happy to address them on the podcast as well.
Yeah, if you've got questions about exactly how Actors Audition Club is helping actors with their auditions and how our membership program works too, we're happy to help those. We help hundreds of actors shoot professional auditions without stress, tech troubles, or having to worry about bugging family and friends to help them at home. Ultimately, so that you as the actor, you can just work on your preparation and your performance and elevate your performance so that you can ultimately book your dream role in TV, film, and theater. So you join our community. And today's Wednesday, which means tomorrow is the first Thespian Thursday, and there are still spots available, a maximum of 8 spots, but you can come join us from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern time. Go to laughingvikings.com/workouts. Brandon's going to run the one in Toronto at our Toronto studio. And if you're not located in Toronto, fret not. You can join us online for Tune-Up Tuesdays. And those will be Tuesdays from 6 to 9 virtually via Zoom. So I'd be happy to connect with you there and have a lot of fun. Voice and speech workout, work on some scenes, work on some monologues, have some community, shoot the shit about questions and share some resources, share some victories, and just have a fun old time. Have a fun time failing.
Yeah.
Fail club. #fail club.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. Yeah. Come experiment, come work out, and come fall flat on your face, because it's a safe environment to do it.
Flat on your face. Yeah. And what do you get when you fail? A lesson. And then you learn and get better. Yeah. Who wants to win every time? You don't learn anything from winning. Just when you win every time, sooner or later you're going to lose, and you lose to learn the new lesson. It's great. It's a great system. All right. Thanks, everybody. We got to log off because I have an audition. So I have booked Brandon Knox to run my session. I've got an audition for a national commercial here that I got to go bang out a few takes for. So we're about to go have some fun. I'm going to go fail right now in the back with some fun commercial fun. Yeah. I'm
excited to see how you're going to fuck it up, Lars.
Oh, I'm going to fuck it up good.
All right. Have a great week, everybody. Goodbye.
Later.